Amigos, hoy es lunes, el 4 de mayo. Casi no lo puedo creer que ya estamos en el último mes del año y último mes para ustedes de primer grado. ¡Wow! ¡Wow! Felicidades. Comenzamos como que es lunes. Vamos a comenzar con el saludo a la bandera. De pie, por favor. 1, 2 y 3. Juro fidelidad a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América y a la república que representa una nación bajo Dios, indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Ok, tengo dos selecciones para ustedes hoy. Primero, un libro en español y uno en inglés. Vamos a leer parte del primer libro y parte del segundo libro. Entonces, el primer libro para hoy en español se llama El Lorax. Eso es una traducción de inglés por Dr. Seuss. Y no sé si lo han leído, pero lo escogí porque durante el mes de abril estábamos hablando mucho de cómo cuidar al planeta, ¿verdad? De cómo podemos reciclar, podemos evitar contaminación y no contribuir a la contaminación. Y cuidar nuestro planeta. Y este libro habla del mismo tema. Entonces, esta es la selección para esta semana, que me puedes hacer un dibujo y puedes leer, y escribir. Y lo voy a decir en inglés también, un clic. So this is our Spanish selection for the week. I'm just going to read about half of it. And I'd like you, the theme of this has to do with taking care of our planet. So in your weekly schedule, this will be the story that you draw a picture about and you write about. Okay, here we go. El Lorax por Dr. Seuss. En las afueras del pueblo, donde el césped crece y el viento huele amargo cuando sopla y se mece, y no cantan los pájaros, salvo un cuervo malvado, ahí está la calle del Lorax izado. ¿Ves el niño aquí? Está buscando dónde vive el Lorax. Entre el césped dicen que había, y si bien miras, ahí está todavía el sitio en que el Lorax estuvo tanto tiempo como pudo, hasta que se lo llevaron un día. Pero, ¿quién era el Lorax? ¿Por qué estaba allí? ¿Por qué se lo llevaron de ese confín, de las afueras del pueblo, donde el césped crece? El viejo de una vez aún vive allí. Pregúntele, él sabe, quizá te lo diga a ti. No verás. Fue una vez. No llames a su puerta. Está en el lerén, encima de su almacén. Acecha bajo el techo en su lerén frío, cosiendo su propio atavío con hebras de tristraje mullido. Y en las húmedas noches de agosto, atispa solapado por la persiana entreabierta, y a veces, si tienes ganas, cuenta cómo el Lorax fue llevado. Quizá te lo diga a ti, si le pagas al contado. Mira aquí. ¿Ves aquí? Los ojos del Lorax viendo por las persianas, mirando. Mira su casa, es una casa interesante. A ver. Por un grueso cordón bajará un balde de latón. Échele 15 centavos y un clavo y el caparazón de un caracol bravo. So, si quiere hablar con el Lorax, tiene que, mira, poner monedas en el balde y a ver si puede subir para hablar con él. Subirá el balde después para ver si le has pagado y hará una y otra vez la suma con gran cuidado. Esconderá lo cobrado discreto en lugar secreto en un agujero extraño de su guante grugaño. Y después gruñirá, te hablaré por mi fono murmullido. Los secretos que yo sé no son solo para tu oído. Aquí está. So, sube el balde y luego mira dónde pone la moneda. Mira acá. ¡Plaf! Baja el fono murmullido a tu oído a las palabras de fue una vez. Suenan todas al revés porque tienen que pasar por una manguera vieja que las hace resonar como un murmullo de abejas. Ahora sabrás, dice con un rechinar de dientes morados, por qué el Lorax un día de aquí fue llevado. Esto fue hace mucho tiempo. Hace mucho tiempo. Oh, mira, está escuchando. El Lorax está hablando por este tubo que parece teléfono a ese niño y le está contando un cuento del Lorax, de qué le pasó. Hace mucho, cuando el césped era aún verde, césped es zacate, ¿verdad? Y tenía agua el estanque, que recuerde, y eran limpias las nubes, y la canción de los cisneros llevaba el aire gustoso. Llegué una mañana a este lugar glorioso, y los árboles fue lo que vi primero. Los árboles trúfula, los pompones de trúfulas en el sendero meciéndose al viento mañanero. Aquí están hablando de cómo era el mundo antes. Mira aquí. Aquí, mira cómo está el mundo ahora. ¿Se ve muy bonito? Aquí. Parece todo no muy bonito, ¿verdad? Mira la tierra, mira cómo es. Parece un poco triste, ¿verdad? No hay hojas en los árboles ni nada. Pero el Lorax dice que antes así era. Entonces, la pregunta que les doy, porque voy a dejarlo aquí, ¿por qué cambió la tierra? Así es ahora. No hay zacate, no se puede ver el sol, no hay esos árboles tan bonitos, pero antes estaba así, era así. Cuando escriban esta semana, escriban, ¿por qué crees que antes era así, tan bonito, pero ahora no muy bonito? Tienen que pensar en qué pasó. Ok, ahora vamos a hacer clic. English time. So you're going to write about what you think happened And why did things change in the world of the Lorax? Why was it so beautiful and colorful before, like you saw on the last page that I read? Because he's telling that boy the story of how the world was before. So the question is, what happened? Why is it all of a sudden there are no leaves on the trees, no green grass? What happened? That's your writing assignment for the week. Okay, so we left off the Snow Queen. This is part 3. Part 2, we read about how Gerda went out to go find Kay because Kay had disappeared and had gone with the Snow Queen, and she went to find him. But she ended up being bewitched by a good witch, but the good witch kept her in her house without her realizing how much time had passed. And she realized that she had wasted all this time when she should have been looking for Kay. All right, so now we're on the next subject. So she left the witch's house and now she's out looking for Kay again. This section is called The Prince and the Princess. After a while, Gerda had to rest again. While she was sitting, she looked up, and there on the snow in front of her was a large crow. It had been looking at her for some time, and it nodded its head and said, "Caw, caw, good day." Then it asked the little girl where she was going all alone like that in the world. Gerda told the crow her story and asked if he had seen Kay. The crow nodded very thoughtfully and said, "It might be. It might be." "What? Do you think you have?" cried the little girl, and she smothered him with her kisses. "Gently, gently," said the crow. "It might be little Kay, but now he has forgotten you for the princess." "Does he live with a princess?" asked Gerda. Then the crow told her everything he knew. "In the kingdom in which we are now sitting lives a princess who is dreadfully clever. She has read all the newspapers in the world and then forgotten them again. She is as clever as that. The other day she was sitting on the throne, and that is not much fun as people think. And then she began to say, 'Why should I not marry?' But she wanted a husband who knew how to answer when spoken to, not one who would stand up stiffly looking superior. That would be too boring. When she told all the ladies of the court, they were delighted. 'You can believe every word I say,' continued the crow. 'I have a tame sweetheart in the palace, and she tells me everything.' Of course, his sweetheart was a crow. So every newspaper came out next morning with a border of hearts and the princess's initials. And inside you could read that every handsome young man might come into the palace and speak to the princess, and whoever spoke best should become her husband. 'Indeed,' said the crow, 'you can certainly believe me. It is as true as that I am sitting here.' Young men arrived in streams, but nothing came of it on the first or the second day. The suitors were talkative enough in the streets, but once they went inside the palace gates and saw the guards in silver-braided uniforms and the footmen in gold-braided uniforms lining the stairs and the great hall all lit up, then their wits left them entirely, meaning these men who thought, these princes who thought they wanted to marry the princess, when they came in, they got all nervous because they saw these guards dressed in these uniforms, and then they just couldn't think of anything to say. And when they stood in front of the throne where the princess sat, they could think of nothing to say except to repeat the last word she had spoken, and she did not care to hear that again. It seemed as if they were walking in their sleep until they went out into the street again and were able to speak once more. There was a line of young men stretching from the town gate up to the castle. They were hungry and thirsty, but in the palace they did not even get a glass of water. Some of the cleverest had thought to bring slices of bread and butter with them, but they did not share it with their neighbor, for they thought, if he looks hungry, the princess will not have him. "But what about Kay?" asked Gerda. "When did he come? Was he in the crowd?" "Wait a bit. We are coming to him." On the third day, a little figure without horse or carriage walked jauntily up to the palace. His eyes shone as yours do. He had lovely curly hair, but very shabby clothes. That was Kay, cried Gerda with delight. Oh, I have found him, and she clapped her hands. He had a little bundle on his back, said the crow. It must have been his sled. Possibly, said the crow. I did not see for certain, but I know, my sweetheart, that when he came to the palace gate and saw the royal guards in silver and the footmen in gold on the stairs, he was not the least bit put out. He nodded to them, saying, It must be rather dull standing on the stairs. I would rather go inside. The halls were ablaze with lights. Counselors and ambassadors were walking about carrying gold trays. It was enough to make one nervous. The boy's boots creaked noisily, but he was not frightened. That must be Kay, said Gerda. I know he had new boots on. I've heard them creaking in his grandmother's room. They did creak, certainly, said the crow, and not one bit afraid, up he went to the princess, who was sitting on a large pearl as round as a spinning wheel. All the ladies in waiting were standing around with their attendants, and lords in waiting with their attendants. That means all of the women that would be there to serve the queen. They weren't servants per se, but they were just there to show the princess how great she was. It must have been dreadful, said little Gerda. And Kay did win the princess? I heard from my tame sweetheart that he was cheerful and quick-witted. He had not come to woo, he said, but to listen to the princess's wisdom. And the end of it was that they fell in love with each other. That must have been Kay. He was always so clever. He could do sums with fractions. Oh, won't you lead me to the palace, begged Gerda. That's easily asked, said the crow, but how are we to manage that? I must talk it over with my tame sweetheart. She may be able to advise us, but I may as well tell you that a little girl like you could never get permission to enter the palace. Oh, I will get in, said Gerda. When Kay hears that I'm here, he will come out at once and fetch me. Wait for me by the fence, said the crow, and he nodded his head and flew away. Late in the evening, when he came back, I'm going to leave it there. So she thinks she has found Kay. She thinks it's him in the castle with the princess. And the crow is supposed to help her get into the castle because the crow has a crow girlfriend who lives in the castle, in the palace. So we'll see what happens. All right, guys, you guys have a fabulous Monday. Really good to see you. Tomorrow we have today there is a Club de Español with Señor Ruiz a las 11 at 11, not at 12. And I'll post that also on Google Classroom. And then tomorrow we'll have Club de Español with me, and we're going to play Simon Says. Simón dice. It should be fun. Come and join us. Have a great day. Bye-bye.